Happy Monday and good morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mackenzie Lake, and I'm tracking the heat and the haze today. Happy Monday. Let's get into our full forecast. Here is a live look out from our Santa Barbara broadcast peak camera. Look at all that haze and smoke out there. Air quality is going to be an issue as we head into the evening hours as northwesterly winds plume in smoke and haze from the Gifford Fire. So I'm going to be tracking current conditions and what we're looking at as we head into the future. But let's first talk about right now. You can see here we're picking up on some hot spots, about 4 or 5 different areas of concern early this morning, but we're going to be watching as this fire continues to explode and as these winds funnel in more additional dry and warm air. Here's a look at the winds that we're tracking for the day. So the Gaviota corridor, we're looking at sundowner conditions through the overnight, a wind advisory lasting all the way through early tomorrow morning. Those gusts could range upwards of 50 miles an hour, but we are not the only area that will be impacted by those strong winds. We're looking gusty for those interior areas as well. So let's map it out hour by hour here. So 9 o'clock in the morning, all through the US 101 and Highway 1, we're going to be picking up on blustery conditions. As we track through the afternoon or lunchtime, well, you can see how those winds have picked up near Point Conception, and now we're getting 20-mile-per-hour gusts for Santa Maria, San Luis Obispo, and even into Santa Ynez as well. As we head into the evening and overnight hours, well, we're tracking these offshore winds, which is again going to plume in some of that smoke and haze from the Gifford Fire, and it's also going to help fuel that fire as well. Well, now as we track towards 7 p.m., 41-mile-per-hour gusts through the Gaviota corridor, exceptionally blustery near Point Conception and Hollister Ranch, and even a strong breeze up in Paso Robles. Here in Santa Barbara, our winds looking relatively light through the overnight hours. Similar situation down in Ventura County. So as mentioned, air quality is our biggest concern for the day. Here's a look at where some of that smoke and haze is going to move over the next few hours. As the sun begins to rise and as this fire grows in acreage, well, we're going to be seeing a lot of these hazardous air quality issues centered right around the fire. However, that northwesterly push is now pluming in some of these darker shades of grays out here, indicating some hazardous air quality. Not only in Santa Barbara, but we'll likely see smoke and haze through Ventura, through LA counties as well. And as we head into the afternoon and overnight hours, again, when those winds really start to crank up, we're going to be watching our air quality diminishing, possibly down to hazardous at times and maybe even unhealthy for sensitive groups. So those with respiratory issues, young kids, and the elderly, it's very important to check in on them when possible. Have your windows closed and be aware of your surroundings as well. You want to practice fire safety on Tuesday, Wednesday, as high pressure and warm and dry air dominate our forecast. The hazy smoke outside will be influencing our marine layer growth as well, so expect a rather disorganized cloud deck every single morning. Here's our temperatures for the day: 76 in Santa Barbara, 72 in Summerlin, and 70 in Carpinteria. Overnight lows will drop down into the 50s and 60s. Early hours and overnight conditions are perfect for firefighters to gain some containment. However, elevated fire risk is expected this afternoon and heading through the rest of our work week, as I'm forecasting for 90s close to the Gifford Fire. 67 in Pismo Beach, 78 in San Luis Obispo. Minimal air quality issues for our northern communities, but much bigger impacts down through Ventura and even Santa Barbara. So make sure you're aware of your surroundings and, of course, limiting that outside strenuous activity when possible. Have a good one.